Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by mountains, there lived a 24-year-old man named Marco. Marco's mind was never still. Thoughts kept coming and going, making him restless and tired. He often felt sad about the past and worried about the future. His mind was like a storm, leaving him unable to sleep well or even remember how to smile. One day, Marco heard about a distant village in the hills where a wise old man lived. This man had once been a famous psychologist in the city, helping many people find peace of mind. Now retired, he had chosen to live a quiet life close to nature and sometimes gave advice to visitors. Marco felt curious and hopeful. He decided he had to meet this man, thinking that maybe he could finally find peace. After a long and tiring journey, Marco reached the village in the hills. There he saw a small house covered in greenery. Sitting on the porch was the old man, his eyes closed and his face calm. Marco approached and spoke softly, telling him that his mind was restless and asking for help. The old man opened his eyes slowly and smiled. "I can help you," he said, "but first, I will give you a small task." He led Marco to a yard and filled a glass with water to the very top, so full that even a tiny shake would spill it. He handed the glass to Marco and asked him to walk to the edge of the village and return without spilling a single drop. Marco was surprised, but accepted the challenge. Holding the glass carefully, he began walking. The road was narrow and busy. People were moving around, shopkeepers were calling customers, and dogs barked. Yet Marco focused only on the glass. Step by step, he walked slowly and carefully. People watched with curiosity, but no one interrupted him, sensing he was learning something important. Finally, Marco returned to the old man. "I did it," he said. "I didn't spill a single drop." The old man nodded and smiled, then asked, "Did you notice the children playing by the road? Did you hear the dogs barking?" Marco shook his head, surprised. He hadn't noticed anything else because he was focused only on the glass. The old man spoke gently. "That is the secret. The peace you were looking for was already inside you. When your mind stays in the present moment, there is no fear, no confusion, no extra thoughts. At that time, your mind became quiet. You were not thinking about the past, and you were not worrying about the future." Slowly, Marco began to understand. This was the peace he had been searching for. True peace is not something we find outside. It is already inside us when we live in the present. Marco bowed his head and whispered, "Now I understand. To calm my mind, I must stay in this moment. That is when real peace comes." The old man smiled. As the sun set and the last light touched the ground, birds returned to their nests, and Marco walked back home. He was no longer the restless young man he had been. Inside, he felt calm and peaceful, because he had learned how to quiet his mind. From that day on, Marco remembered the lesson of the glass and the power of living in the present moment. And in that simple practice, he found a calm that had always been within him.